So before we go down this rabbit hole of people pretending the president said or intended something other than what he said, let me be clear. The president put out false information, and over the last 2 weeks, fewer and fewer people have been willing to defend him. For those remaining who are inclined to make excuses for the president or buy into his attempts at misdirection, let's put the president's own words up on the screen for everyone to see, for you to see. President Trump first tweeted, "Terrible. Just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism." McCarthyism refers to former Senator Joseph McCarthy, who back in the 1950s systematically accused people of subversion or treason, of being communists without any evidence, destroying countless lives. Mr. Trump then wrote, "Is it legal for a sitting president to be wiretapping a race for president prior to an election, turned down by court earlier, a new low?" There he is, accusing the former president of a federal crime. Then he writes, "I'd bet a good lawyer could make a great case out of the fact that President Obama was tapping my phones in October, just prior to election." A good lawyer implies that he has a legal case, that he has some facts, some proof. The word fact implies that he's got the goods to prove it, to back it up. Note, he also wrote, "tapping my phones," not surveilling my people. He wrote tapping my phones. And then he writes, "How low has President Obama gone to tap my phones during the very sacred election process? This is Nixon Watergate, bad or sick guy." President Trump compares President Obama to a president who was impeached and driven from office in one of the biggest political scandals ever. And he did it all with no proof, and now has the gall to pretend with a straight face that he said something other than what he said. Maybe you still want to believe the president because this is America, and in America his office comes with a sacred trust. We respect that office and its holder. But sometimes we have to ask, do they respect that office? Do they respect us enough to give us the truth? Here's Sean Spicer, the president's press secretary, today.
Yesterday you said you were extremely confident that the House and Senate Intelligence Committees would ultimately vindicate the president's allegation that Trump Tower was wiretapped. As I'm sure you have now seen, the Senate Intelligence Committee has said
when he talked about it yesterday.
Does anyone see Billy Madison, the game show scene? Everyone in this room is dumber for having listened to that. I hope that you're not dumber, and I hope we're providing you some information. And just to be clear, no one mischaracterized what the Senate Intel said. Here's a statement. "Based on the information available to us, we see no indications that Trump Tower was the subject of surveillance by any element of the United States government, either before or after Election Day 2016. Senator Richard Burr and Senator Mark Warner on March 16th. And by the way, I have to give a little bit of a correction. Nixon was not impeached. He resigned before he was impeached. They were drawing up impeachment papers. I wrote that. That was my mistake. I apologize for it. Can you do the same, Mr. President, for your mistake? Up next, what was it like for reporters inside the briefing room today, including CNN's Jim Acosta, who will join me?